Hey, woman of purpose. I want to talk to you today about a season that doesn't get named very often. Not because it's rare, but because the women in it are usually too busy trying to survive it to even have words for it, to describe it. It's basically the season where you are building faithfully, consistently, obediently, and the fruit is not visible of yet. It's not absent, it's not canceled, it's not even lost. It's just not visible. And depending on where you are in your journey, that season feels different. If you're in it for the first time, it feels like confusion, like disorientation, like something must be wrong, even though you can't figure out exactly what it is. And if you've been here before in this season, you've had a season of clarity, thought things were moving, and then you found yourself back in the hiddenness again. And it feels like frustration layered on top of confusion. Like you should understand by now, like something in you have failed, like you somehow ended up back at a place that you thought that you had already passed through. And if you've been in it for long enough to have cycled through it more than once and come out on the other side and you are still standing and it still doesn't feel easy, it just feels different than it used to. Listen, I know all three of those places. Why? Because I have been all three of those women. And today I want to talk about what is actually happening in the hidden building season from the inside, so that wherever you are in it, you leave here with something real to hold on to. Hi, and welcome back. My name is Teresa V. Smithen-Quintana, and this is the Purpose and Calling Show, where we have honest, grounded, spiritual conversations about what it actually means to walk out a God-given calling, that burning desire that God has placed in your heart. Now, today, this is part 2 of a 2-part teaching series on seasons. Now, if you haven't watched part 1 yet, I want to encourage you to go back and to watch it first, okay? Because we laid a foundation there that is basically going to make everything in this teaching land a little deeper, okay? And I'm going to put that link in the description. But if you're here and part 1 is not where you're starting, that's okay too. You're going to get something from this regardless, all right? In part 1, we talked about seasons in general, what they are, why God uses them, and the different kinds of seasons women of purpose move through. Today, we are going deep, or at least deeper, on one specific season, and this is the hidden building season. And I'm going to get personal in this teaching in a way that I don't normally do. I don't think I don't think I've done that per se in any of my teachings. Not because I have it all figured out, not because I'm on the other side of this with a triumphant ending to give you, no. But because I am still in it with you, and I have found a way to be okay with that. And I think that might be exactly what some of you need to hear today. All right? So let's go. So let's talk about what is the hidden building season. So let me define it clearly so that we're all starting from the same place. The hidden building season is a season where you are actively doing the work God has placed in your heart, that He has assigned to you. You are showing up, you are creating, you are developing, you're executing. And the outward fruit of that work is not yet visible in a way that you can measure or that you could even point to. There's no significant growth that you can see. There's no momentum that feels tangible. There's no external validation telling you that what you're doing is working. It's just the work and the faithfulness required to keep doing it. But here is what makes this season particularly difficult. It's not a season of rest. It is not a season of waiting where you're simply just positioned and you're just holding, right? It is a season where you are actively building, which means that you are expending real energy, real time, real resources, real emotional and spiritual capacity. And the return on that investment is not showing up in the places that you can see. And that is uniquely exhausting in a way that pure waiting is not, because when you're waiting, you're just waiting, right? But this is different because at least in a waiting season, you know you're waiting. But in the hidden building season, you're working and working and working. And you're looking up and you're wondering why the landscape around you doesn't reflect the level of the effort underneath it. So now let's talk about what it actually feels like. And I want to spend some time here because I really feel like it's important, because I think that there are teachings that skip this part, right? And they name the season and they jump right into the encouragement. And then you, the woman, me, that woman who is in the middle of it, never quite feels like they're fully seen, like people don't understand. So I want to go a little slow here, and I'm going to be a little honest with you, okay? It can feel lonely. It is lonely. There's a particular kind of loneliness that comes with building something that not many people around you can see or even understand as of yet. Okay, you can be surrounded by people, by family, by friends, by community, and you still feel profoundly alone in the middle of this season. Because what you're carrying doesn't always translate to the people that's closest to you. And after a while, listen, you stop trying to explain it as much. You just carry it. And carrying it alone tends to get heavy. It feels exhausting, not just physically, but that's there as well, right? But the kind of exhaustion that comes from sustained effort without visible return. It's like mental exhaustion, spiritual exhaustion. The kind that makes you wake up some mornings and you think, man, I don't know if I have another day of this in me. You know that you do, right? But that's what you're thinking. And then you get up anyway, because you know it's what God placed within you. Because the alternative, which is walking away from what God placed in you, somehow feels worse than the exhaustion, right? And so it can feel confusing, especially when you are doing everything that you know to do. Everything. You're praying, you're showing up, you're being obedient to what God gave you. And still, the clarity that you are looking for isn't coming. The movement that you're expecting isn't happening. The fruit you've been faithful for isn't appearing. And your mind, it starts doing what minds do. It starts looking for an explanation. And if you're not careful, the explanation it lands on is the wrong one. And it can feel like God is absent. And I want to say that carefully, because I know that this is a vulnerable thing to admit, but I also know that some of you have felt it. That quiet, creeping feeling that maybe God isn't as present in this as you thought he was. That maybe you're building alone, that maybe he's moved on or moved somewhere else, or that you somehow lost the connection that you thought that you had. Okay, I'm gonna be the first one to say it. I've been there. I have felt that. Not as a conclusion that I settled in, but as a feeling that rose up in rose up within me in the hard moments, the hard times. And I want to tell you that that feeling is not evidence that God is absent, but sometimes it is evidence of how long the season has been. And listen, how human you are. We are humans, okay? Let me tell you about my story here. It's not something that I share very often, but I want to share it with you today because I think some of you need to know that this teaching is coming from a place that is not theoretical. All right, I've lived this. I truly understand where you're coming from. When my children were toddlers, I felt the full weight of the calling that God had placed in my life. I would listen to women talk about things that they wanted to do, but many of them never seemed to have to go after it. The sense of purpose was there. I had the assignment, it was clear, and I said yes. But little did I know that I was going to have to be the blueprint, the example of, for many, I should say, for many women of purpose. My children are now in their early 20s. And in the years between then and now, I have been building consistently, faithfully, showing up even when I didn't feel like it. And there were long stretches of that journey where I had nothing visible to point to. I had no significant following. I had no revenue that reflected the work. I had no external markers that said, yes, Teresia, this is working, keep going. I didn't have any of that. I just had the work and the calling underneath it, the burning desire and the choice every single day to keep going, to keep showing up. And I want to be honest about what it felt like, because it did not always feel good. There were seasons where I cried. Man, I boo-hooed, okay? I boo-hooed. There were seasons where I complained, where I sat with God and I asked God, where are you in this? What is happening? Did I hear you right? Is this even working? God, what happened? Because it's not looking like how I thought it was going to look like. There were seasons where frustrations rose up in me toward myself, wondering what I was missing, what I was doing wrong, why it wasn't moving the way I thought it should. There were seasons when I was comparing myself, which was wrong. And if I'm being honest, there were moments where that frustration, it quietly extended towards God too. And I'm just being real and honest here, okay? I was feeling some kind of way towards God, but I was human. I don't understand everything that happened. I didn't like everything that happened, but I still showed up, okay? And I was also in some of those seasons searching for something I couldn't fully name at the time. And I understand now that what I was searching for was validation. I wanted something external to confirm what I felt internally. And when it didn't come, the gap between what I believed about my calling and what I could physically see in front of me became its own kind of weight, and that weight felt crushing. It felt like disappointment, disappointment with myself, disappointment with God. It felt heavy, you know. I was up one day, down the next. I was moving forward, then sideways, then what felt like backward. I was doing a figure eight when I thought I was supposed to be going in a straight line. Everything but the clear, linear progression I had imagined that my journey was going to look like. I thought that God was going to call me. He called me. I was going to say yes, and it was just going to be perfect. It was going to be perfect. But here's what I learned. None of what I went through was wasted. Not the tears, not the frustration, not the seasons of confusion, not even the moments of anger that I had. I learned that all of it was formation. God was forming me. And I want to stop here and speak to someone specific. You're not brand new to this. Did you hear that? You're not brand new to this. You've been here before. You've had a season, maybe more than once, where things felt clearer. where you felt like you were gaining ground, where the movement was more visible, and you thought, okay, I think I understand this now. I think I'm past the hard part. And then something shifted. And guess what? You found yourself back in a place that feels uncomfortably familiar, right? It looked like you took 10 steps and now you're back 3. So you've got the quietness, the slowness, the gap between where you're putting in and what you can see coming out. And this time it feels different than it did the first time. Not just confusing, but confusing and frustrating. Because you feel like you should know better. You feel like you should be past this by now. Like your experience should have prepared you to handle the season more gracefully than you currently are. And the enemy, what is he doing? Well, he's using the gap between where you are and where you thought you'd be and where you actually are, to tell you that something is wrong with you. But it's not. And I need you to hear me on this. You are not behind. You are not failing a test that that you've already taken. Everything is fine. You are not back at the beginning. You are basically in a deeper layer of the same process. Think of it that way. And the reason it feels unfamiliar, even though it looks similar, is because you are not the same woman who went through it the first time. Process that. Think about that. You are not the same woman. The season that formed you before produced something in you. And you may not be able to see it now, but you may not even know that it's there, right? But the woman that you are right now, the one that is sitting in this season again, the one that's frustrated and confused and still showing up, you are more formed than you know. And this layer of the process is building something in you that last layer could not have built, because you weren't ready for it yet, but you're ready for it now. So let me give you a little bit of theology on this, because I think that understanding what God is doing changes how you experience what you are feeling. So if we go to Proverbs 24 and verse 3, it says, "By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established." I love that scripture. See, built and established, those are two different things. You can build something that is not yet established. Established means it can stand. It means it has the structural integrity to hold the weight of what is coming. An establishment, the deep, invisible, underground kind, well, that takes time. And that cannot be rushed. It cannot be performed. It has to be grown. And here is what I want you to understand about the hidden building season. While you are doing the outward work, while you are building, listen, my sister, woman of God, woman of purpose, God is doing the establishing work in you. In you. He is deepening your roots so that when the visibility comes, when the fruit appears, when the platform grows, when the assignment expands, you will not be toppled by it, because you will have been built for it, not just skilled for it, not just gifted for it, but built for it from the inside out. Think about that. From the inside out, my sister. So listen to this. In my hidden season, in the long stretches where I couldn't see the fruit, listen, God was present in the small things. Okay, I understand that now. I get it now. Not always in the dramatic, unmistakable ways that I was asking for, but he was there in the quiet, consistent, easy to miss ways that I only recognize when I stopped demanding that his presence look a certain way. Listen, my God showed up, and Holy Spirit had to speak to me. He showed me how to access tools and resources that I desperately needed, things that helped me to flush out ideas that I had been carrying and finally get them out of my head and into a form that I could work with. Things that I had been praying for help. I had been praying for help, that help would come, and the help came. But it wasn't in the packaging that I expected. And financially, though my organization wasn't generating what I believed it should be generating, my sister, hear me, I was never without, not once. When I look back on things all those years, God truly allowed me to lie down in green pastures in the middle of what felt like a desert season for me. Psalms 23:2 says, He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. Honey, I didn't always feel the green pastures, but I was in them. Hear me on that. I didn't always feel like I was in it, but I was in them. And looking back, I can see God's fingerprints on moments that I couldn't read clearly when I was standing in it, when I was experiencing them. And that is the nature of the hidden building season. See, the evidence of God's presence is often only legible in hindsight. But guess what? It is there. He's there. It's always there. He's always there. I want to give you something practical before we close, because this teaching is not just about understanding the season, but it's about you navigating it. First, I want you to accept that you are in a season, not a sentence. Okay, some of you are probably thinking that you're in, like you did something wrong and God is sentencing you. No, you're in a season. A season has a purpose. A season has movement happening within it, even when the movement isn't visible. And guess what? A season ends. A sentence is punitive. A sentence is something that you endure until you've paid enough. That's not where you at. The hidden building season is not a sentence. It is a season. And my sister, you accepting that, really accepting it, shifts the way that you carry it, the way that you walk through it. And I won't tell you that acceptance is going to be easy, and I won't tell you that the frustration is going to stop. It won't. Even now, I have moments where frustration rises, where I wish I could see more, where I am honest with God about the fact that I am tired sometimes. But underneath that frustration, there's an acceptance now that was not always there. An acceptance that says, okay, God, I don't fully understand what you're doing. I don't love the pace of it. But God, I trust you. I trust the one who was doing it. I trust the one that has placed it inside of me. And I'm okay with that. And that acceptance is its own kind of strength. Second, I want you to change what you measure. In a hidden building season, measuring visible fruit will only discourage you every single time. So, not because nothing is happening, but because what is happening isn't primarily outward yet. So, I want you to start measuring your inside growth, your inward growth. Ask yourself, are you clearer than where you were a year ago? Are you stronger than you were in the last hard season that you were in? Are you more rooted in what God said? Are you less dependent on external validation to keep going? Listen, these are signs that the season is working, that everything that you've been through is working. Even when the outward signs aren't there, again, the inward is working, okay? Third, I want you to stay connected. Okay, this season, it will try to isolate you. The loneliness of it will tempt you to pull back. It will tempt you to go quiet and to carry things alone. So I want you to resist that. Find the women who are in the process with you, not the ones who have it all together, but the ones who are being faithful in their own hidden season. And they could sit with it with you, okay? Because you were not designed to build alone. We are not designed to build alone. And there's something powerful about being in a community of women who understand what it means to be faithful when the fruit isn't visible yet. Listen, I'm still in it. I won't pretend otherwise. I can't pretend otherwise. There are days when I wish I could see more. Days I wish the process was faster. Days where the frustration is real and I bring it honestly to God. There are days when I wish I saw more fruit. But I'm okay. Not because my season is over, not because I have a triumphant ending to give you. No, but because I know something now about who God is in the middle of it that I could only have learned by being in it. And I want that for you too. Not just the knowledge of it, but the experience of it. You know, that deep, unshakable knowing that comes from being faithful when faithfulness costs you something. Honey, it's going to cost you something to be faithful. I'm still in it and I'm okay. And my sister, woman of God, woman of purpose, you will be too. You are not off track. You are not behind. You are not building in vain. Hear me, you are not building in vain. And you are not alone in this. There are other women that are building along with you. The season that you are in, however long it's been, however many times you've been there, no matter how tired you are, okay, that season, it is not the end of your story. It is a part of the formation of it. So I want you to stay with it. So before I go, I have a question for you. And I want you to drop your answer in the comments below. Which of the three women that I described today is you right now? Are you the first timer? That's, the one who's been here before? Or are you the frustrated one? Okay? Frustrated again. Or the one who's found a way to keep going even when it's hard. Be honest with yourself. Why? Because this is a safe space. I want to hear from you. I really do. And if this teaching met you where you are, I want you to share it with another woman who might need it. She may be in her own hidden season right now and have not a name for it, for what she's walking through. She may not have language for it. So help her out. Share this teaching with her. Now, if you've been listening to this teaching and you're not sure exactly where you are in your purpose journey, I want to point you to something that I built specifically for that. It is called the Purpose Journey Assessment. It's free, it's short, and it will help you to identify exactly where you are so that you can get the right support for the right season that you're in. And I have placed the link in the description of this episode. And if you want to be in a community of women who are having these exact kinds of conversations, women who are building faithfully, who are navigating their season honestly, and they're not pretending that the process is easy, I want you to come find us inside the Lilies Among Thorns Society that is on the school platform, okay? Again, that's Lilies Among Thorns Society. And that link is also going to be in the description as well. And listen, we would love, love, love to have you there with us. Well, I will see you in the next teaching. And remember that understanding the process changes the way you move through it. All right, take care and be blessed.